Orie has sold close to 85% units on first day. I've said these two videos back that Orie moves about 80% of sales. Then we are officially in overdrive mode, and that will probably add additional pressure on the government to tighten certain policies to cool the market. It's like your mother and father keep warning you, hey, stop playing, stop fighting with one another. It's not going to smack your ass. Then you still continue to fight, still continue to play. We are asking for it, right? Because we are going to get spanked. Anyway, why is that so? Because in order to sell that many units, it also meant that the higher floors of about 3,000 per square foot would had to be achieved, and it did just that. Mind you, 3,000 per square foot or close to $2.1 to $2.2 million for a 2+ study and $1.9 million plus for a 2-bed 2-bath. That is just... Okay, like this started from 2,400 per square foot and moved all the way up to 3,000 per square foot, and as expected, who do you think are the real winners of Orie? Is it the low floor units or the magnificent high floor city facing ones? Anyway, what probably caught my attention by surprise? Magna House selling close to 62% on launch day itself. Being able to sell 62% on its own is really a tough ask, but to do it on the same weekend as Orie and sharing the same attention and competition is just... I have nothing to say. Now, I was having this competition on our recently set up community on Telegram on several walk-away prices to pay attention so that you do not be a cuckoo. Anyway, since it's already launched, we think anything below 2,600 per square foot is a good price. 2,700 per square foot is pushing it, and anything above that, you got to really understand the purpose of such purchase. It is also in this closed community that I will share about very uncensored opinions on a lot of things. I dare not and will not do so online with due respect to whoever that has vested interest in the things I talk about. So it is free for now. If you're interested to join us in our discussion, please scan the QR code here as per previous video, or for those who are not too tech savvy, I've pasted the link in description. Please don't forget to like and subscribe too if you find the videos helpful, because it would mean a great deal for us. Anyway, back to potential cooling measures. So I believe if I were to make a guess, not that my guess means anything, we might get something around budget 2025, or when Parktown launches, that might be the final nail to the coffin. And we are here today to dive deeper into the final nail that is Parktown, my launch of the year 2025, Part 2. It also has been confirmed that preview will start on the 7th of February and will last for about 10 days before actual booking or balloting on the 22nd of Feb. And by doing that, this is really doing Alta dirty, man, as it clashes directly with their launch. Remember Navagrove in November? I'm sure the developers MCLN will be like, not again. Anyway, if you are someone looking at Parktown and want to find someone here to help safeguard your purchase and personally escort your backside of the show flat if the prices falls out of line, here are my contact information you can reach me on. Okay, back to it. In my previous video, it was unfortunate that a day after I shot my video, they released all the floor plans and whatnot ever. Imagine driving home and see all the floor plans coming out. Otherwise, I would have been able to cram it all into one. But if life gives you lemons, just make lemonade out of it lah. So today, I'll be focusing on the floor plans and the probable prices we should come to expect to give us a better idea of what to expect. But before we do that, and since I already have almost everything I need to have a better idea about, let's look at how Parktown looks, shall we? 545,000 square feet piece of land that houses Parktown residences, a shopping mall, hawker center, and a community club, and even the bus interchange. Now, this is the most convenient thing I have seen in a while. Looking at the site plan, given that it is so big, they had to split it into two wings, namely Park East and Park West. Now, I would call the west side the adults corner, more for adults. For the serious streamers, you get the proper 15-meter lap pool, a couple of function rooms, and one gym. Not the gym, one of the gym. Then, as usual, you will have different pavilions and barbecue pits scattered across this side of the development. Now, on the eastern side, it is where you will probably see more under 12 having more fun at the facilities. Why? Because you have this huge pool that resembles that of like Normanton Park, Park Clementes, and another 50-meter lap pool that is, in all honesty, people people who do serious swimming probably will not come to this pool as it's very close to the fun pool. And it is also the eastern side that you have yet another 2 function rooms and another gym. With an addition to that, you also be getting the tennis court, multi-purpose court, 2 kids function room, I think it's 3, I'm not too sure, a music room, and a couple of KTV rooms. Now, the developers are really very serious with the lifestyle here, man. What you need in a condo, you get it. And with the exception of the tennis court, you get double of almost everything. Thinking 2 steps forward, do you think this will be one of the key attractions of Parktown? Absolutely. Outlook of it also looks pretty modern. Some low-rise blocks and some slightly higher at 12 stories. This is really like the usual configuration of the typical integrated developments, but even better. From a view perspective, I think the pool-facing ones will likely be the most expensive, followed by what I feel is quite interesting, and that is the low-rise blocks of 9, 11, and 13 overlooking one another, and in between that sits the exposed part of the mall below with quite a fair bit of greenery beautifying the facade. Some find this quite nice, although some might not like it due to privacy issues. Then the cheapest facing will likely be the outside facing ones overlooking the road, especially the west fronting ones. And over at block 1 and 23, I think the outwards facing might get a pretty decent view of the Boulevard Park that sits between the HDB cluster of Tampines Green Court and an empty plot of land that is earmarked for educational purposes with an open area. This one might be the most expensive among the cheapest, if you know what I mean. So any guide price will likely be for the outside facing, with the cheapest being at the Park West corner. Now on to West layout for starts, and for the record, I find that some Parktown sizes are a tad too big because Tampines is a very mass market area. The largest space, although good, might tip it over the ideal entry level we hope it should be in. So let's see which ones are of good size and which ones are too big, shall we? For argument's sake, for the unit smaller than a 3-bedroom, I'll be using an average of 2,200 per square foot, and for anything larger than that, I think 2,100 per square foot should be quite safe. So let's get straight into it. First up, as usual, you know I don't really care about 1+ study, but for once I will talk about this, and for only one reason. There's only 73 of such unit in the entire development. Now usually smaller 1+ study tend to have more inventory, so the lack of them here means that if you are an investor or buyer looking for such unit as a form of stepping stone, the competition to sell and rent out will likely be far lesser given everything is at doorstep for Parktown. I always believe that for 1+ study, since exit is usually the biggest concern, you must be near MRT and amenities to really stand a better chance. And at 2,200 per square foot, it could be around $1 to $1.1 million for the larger ones thereabout. Next up, 2 bed, 1 bath, 592 square feet, standard and favored the dumbbell layout. Open concept kitchen. Some people always talk down about 1 bath, but of course, everyone, if given a choice, would want a 2 bed, 2 bath lah. But if budget restricts one to do that, then at least better than a 1+ study or 1 bedroom, right? And if the gap between a 2 toilet and 1 toilet is huge, then the value could also be on the 1 bathroom, isn't it? For this, I expect the guide prices that is going to be floating around to be for the ones at block 5 facing towards the western side, 2,200 per square foot. It could be around the 1.3 million thereabout range, making it one of the cheapest 2 bed, 1 bath with the exception of Norwood Grand in recent times in Singapore. Next one, the 2 bed, 2 bath, 678 square feet dumbbell layout, and the 721 square feet, let's call it a conventional layout. Both comes with an enclosed kitchen. Good, nothing else to elaborate on. Now the sweet spot for sizes in mass market areas should actually be between 646 to 657 square feet, but the 721 square feet conventional layout is a little bit too big lah, which means that the range could be between $1.5 million all the way to $1.59 million, and any guide price here should be for the block 23, 21 outwards facing, because most of them are facing the pool. Next, the 2+ study, 764 square feet dumbbell layout with an enclosed kitchen and a proper study tucked at one corner. Again, too big in my honest opinion. It's like a 818 square feet pre-harmonization. Should have been done in such a way is like maybe between 689 to 700 square feet like the ones at EOK. Anyway, if I have to multiply by 2,200 per square foot, it could be around 1.68 million thereabout. And if the size is as per the range it should be, it could have been $1.5 million, right? Now, this is the unit type that I will watch closely over, as the price gap between this and the next bigger unit could be around $400,000 difference. 3-bedroom compact next, 926 and 936 square feet. One is a dumbbell layout, and then one is like, according to one of my subscribers, a water gun layout. Actually, I think it's a very accurate description, so I'll continue to use that, a water gun layout. I quite like the dumbbell layout, but the two AC ledges in the 2 bedrooms kind of annoys me, and the kitchen is also a tad too big with no windows as it's a center unit. The water gun layout, on the other hand, is very neat. All rooms stuck at the corner with AC ledges all at the back area where it allows your yard, kitchen and bathroom to get some natural ventilation. So I think this layout is more favoured. Anyway, there are some larger units, but they are just mainly extra space in the corridor area lah. That's about it. Again, 2,200 per square foot multiplied by 936 square feet, it should fall just above $2 million. Next up, 3-bedroom premium, 1,066 square feet, another water gun layout. Looks exactly like the 936 square feet with the addition of a bomb shelter, a maid's toilet, and a slightly larger kitchen. Again, there's like plenty of different variations, but it's just some difference in the entrance that makes it all so confusing lah. For the larger 3 bedrooms, I will want to put a 2,150 per square foot price tag, so it should hit a quantum of about $2.29 million. Cheapest one should come at the outside facing of Block 1, and at this quantum, I believe most buyers will weigh the option of going for this or settling for the smaller 3 compact units, with the difference potentially hitting around 250k. Is the maid's room, bomb shelter and larger kitchen worth 250k? If it's under 300k, I think it is worthwhile. Next one, 3 plus study, 1,163 square feet, almost an identical layout like the 1,066 square feet, but with an additional study that can doubles up as a walk-in wardrobe or a makeshift room where you can just kick your wife in if she nags too much. 2,150 per square foot for this adds up to be about $2.5 million thereabout. I find this to be the most weird in between, because in between a proper 3-bedroom and a 4-bedroom, if the price is good, I think no one will say no to more space, but it's likely gonna sit at a price that is right between the 3 and the 4 bedrooms. Cheapest should be at Block 5 and 9 because they face directly towards the western side. Hot AF, man. Up next, the 4-bedroom 1,335 square feet and 1,496 square feet. Lucky got no dual key for Parktown. They are both built in similar essence, with the smaller one like having only 2 toilets, while the larger 1,496 square feet comes with 3 toilets and a slightly wider living and dining space. If I'm not wrong, one is about 4 meters in width and the other should be about 4.5. So for those who are getting one for old use, you got to ask yourself this question. The size difference of living rooms and additional toilet will likely cost you upwards of like maybe 350k. Is it worth the extra premium? For investors, I personally think that the 1,335 square feet is more than enough, because 2,100 per square foot, if possible, will put you in a sweet entry level of $2.8 million thereabout. I don't think the rental would have any significant difference when you have one additional toilet or not, or if the space is just slightly bigger lah. If it's for own use, I think you should weigh up your option and do what you think is right. And almost forgot, it is only in this unique configuration and larger do you get an additional saw. So you'll probably have the most complete layout in the entire Tampines area, in my humblest opinion. It should have pretty good resale value in a couple of years down the road, hopefully. And finally, the larger 5-bedroom unit, 1,679 square feet. Again, it's like an extension of the 1,496 square feet, 4.7 meters width, if I'm not wrong, by about 7.2 meters in length. You are really getting a very, very big space. Also, you're getting a much larger master with a separate walk-in wardrobe. Pity that are unable to tuck one of the bedrooms at the other side like how Nava Grove does for theirs. Otherwise, it would have almost been a perfect layout. Now, it is like a semi-bowling alley where everyone is at one corner. For this 5-bedroom, there's only 2 stacks, so naturally developers will reserve the best for the biggest. If it touches 2,100 per square foot for this at $3.5 million, this is only about 500k or so more expensive than the ones at Tampines Treasure as a gauge. But I strongly believe this unit type will stand tall against all the other unit types you're gonna get in the entire Tampines area. Nothing is built like this, and if you manage to get one here, just keep it for good and you will likely be holding to a highly desirable property in the future. Okay, with that, we are done with what I feel is a strike price for each unit type and how the layout looks. Overall, as mentioned in my previous video, there isn't much to complain about for a URL capital land project, but maybe if the sizes are built a tad smaller to achieve a more affordable entry level, it would have been better, because the purpose of harmonization is meant to increase the efficiency of space without compromising on quantum. We don't see that distinct advantage here at Parktown Residences, unfortunately. So is Parktown Residences going to be the launch of 2025? Very much so, but the larger floor plates has given me something to ponder about, because prices ultimately matters. Not only from a per square foot, but also from a quantum game and absolute price tag. Now, from a quality perspective, I dare to say up until this point, this will likely be the best looking integrated development I have seen. No disrespect to the rest lah. The way it's being designed shows you how much effort the developers put in the thought process to give you a proper condo that should retain its value in many years to come. 4 function rooms, 3 kids room, KTV rooms, 2 big pools, music room, tennis court, so and so forth. The residents will appreciate it. But still, price, I still reiterate that my strike price is around the 2,100 per square foot mark. Now, is that too far from estimate? Who knows? We can only wait until CNY for developers to release some guide prices. Once that guide price is out, everything will be much clearer. Again, the launch has been confirmed to be on the 7th of Feb and will launch 2 weeks after at around 22nd of Feb. If you are keen to check this out, or if you wish to understand how our QPE framework can safeguard your purchase and future, you know how to reach out to me, right? Until that guide price has been released, please, in the meanwhile, have an amazing year of the snake, and I hope everyone has a hissing new year and that our government will not give us a huge surprise around Chinese New Year, because why? We really asked for it lah.